Oh man, am I super excited to talk about this show with you guys. I don't know like what the audience range has been because I haven't seen a lot of like online buzz talking about it, but we're here to talk Unicorn Warriors Eternal. This is the latest show from Adult Swim and the latest hugely passionate project from Genddy Tartakovsky, one of the best guys working in animation right now. I could probably do an entire video just talking about like his projects, what inspires him, why he's making this stuff, and like what kind of like vibe he just likes to go for. I'm always here for a new project from him. Primal was fantastic. I do like the Hotel Transylvania stuff. He's got a new movie coming to Netflix very soon. But this one, I saw the poster and I think there was like a teaser trailer or something. I'm like, that looks like a Victorian steampunky robot. Okay, what's that about? And then it was like called Warriors Eternal Unicorn. I'm like, that's an interesting title. It's Gendy. I'll check it out. I love him. He's a talented guy. He's phenomenal. This is it, man. This is such a good, cool, creative, genius show. There is nothing like it on television. I think for the sole reason that nobody wants to attempt to make something that looks like this. This is the most beautiful piece of animation I've seen on television in a long time. It is such a specific aesthetic that is definitely inspired by old school Mac Fleischer, Popeye, Betty Boop stuff. Just that perfect classic era of cartoons that you know Tartakovsky loves. He just looks at that visual style and he just goes, I can do something with that. I can take what I do with my stories, with my characters, and use that style to tell something completely original and different than anything you've seen before. And that is what this is. I am telling you now, whatever you think Unicorn Warriors Eternal is, it's not. It is just going to so many different directions, trying so many different things, and it lands every time. It is a beautiful, beautiful story. We are kind of in like the Victorian era, European, but it's like steampunk. Everything's got like a blimp and a train. There's trolley cars everywhere. It's a different type of society, and we are introduced to this young woman named Emma. She's about to get married. As she's about to get married, well, the ancient spirit of an eternal warrior kind of like lands in her body and possesses her, and she becomes like a dark witch with like weird, undescribable power that comes from Morgana Le Fay and Merlin. And you're like, oh, I think I know what this is then, right? It's like an Excalibur thing? No, it's not. It's magical and mystical, and it goes into insane directions that just look great. It's beautiful. The animation does have moments where it's just like we're looking at a still image and like the background characters aren't moving too much, but it's intentional. It's trying to give you like that classic feeling where the only thing that is important is the character that is moving. And the designs for each character, they're great. They just look fantastic. I really like the Emma Matilda design. It's just, here's goth witch Betty Boop. She's just wearing like a black dress. Her hair is like purple and black flames, and it looks great, and she's funny and she's cool, and the voice actor is fantastic. And then you have Sing, who's just like this little kid, but his eyes are just like this deep orange eternal universe where there's something going on beyond his eyes, where he can just see into the future, into eternity, and it's just dark and crazy, and you don't know what that is, and you just love it. You're like, okay, so we have the Betty Boop girl, we have this like weird Popeye looking kid, we have this weird forest elf named Edred, who is just like, a classic looking elf guy, but in like the same style. If you were to do like a Lord of the Rings adjacent property, like in that classic style of Fleischer cartoons, that's what it would look like. And then you got Copernicus, who's just like this big circle robot that makes steampunk noises, just whistles and woos and everything. Can turn his legs into a boat or a helicopter, and can like extend his arms, and it's every design is perfect. Like, just me talking about the designs and the aesthetic of the show does not do it justice, because it's one of the most beautiful, entertaining things you're ever going to see. And the sound design is so incredible. Like, the whistles and the bobs and the noises for every piece of equipment, it just sounds like old. Like, here's a locomotive engine being revved up. Here's like a weird extending pulley system that sounds different. Everything sounds like it'd be right from that era, but hyped up with like the senses of like a stylized cartoon. It's beautiful. Every sound is phenomenal. Everything looks phenomenal. And then it's just like, what if we did other magical things just in this style? Magical witch ladies, Merlin shows up for a minute, and then it's like, here's ghosts, and here's pirates, and here's a werewolf, and here's like Cthulhu showing up, and you're like, whoa, you don't need to do all this. You sold me on the idea that this robot houses the spirits of eternal warriors, and every time an evil is reborn into the world, these warriors find their host and they come out, but now there's like a mix-up and it finds Betty Boop. You sold me on that. I'm 100% invested in that. And then it's just like, no, but like there's actual deeper thoughts to all of this, and it's kind of about like the duality of your identity, what is like your legacy, what you're supposed to be compared to who you need to become as an individual. And then it's just a gorgeous piece. Everything looks great. Everything is shot beautifully. The voice acting is phenomenal. Like everyone, it has like that classic sound to it, where these are voices that you could hear from a cartoon from the 40s, but with like done with like today's syncing technology. It's beautiful, and I like the designs. There's nothing like it. You have like a big angry tiger guy, and you're like, that is just a beefed up Tony the Tiger, but it also looks like it could kind of be fighting like a cartoon Sinbad right now. And then you just like the way like the actual like technology moves for like the actual animation and the jokes we're trying to talk about. The story goes everywhere. It's magical, it's mystical, it's romance, it's a love triangle, it's a horror movie, it's a deep mythology thing. It gets everything done right. And I just hope this is finding its audience, because it is on pretty late at night on a show like Adult Swim, and it doesn't have like that wide appeal to everybody, you know? If you're somebody who has studied animation, I think you're going to see like a lot of stuff it's going for. But if you're like a young kid who's trying to find like that new edgy show, there is a lot to explore here that is worth talking about. But it doesn't have like that broad appeal where you're going to want to sit down and like talk about it with like your friends, or like talk about like your favorite episode or character. I think it's just going to be one of those shows that it's going to find the audience. It's going to become like a cult piece. But I want it to be more, because like, this is a style that I think proves to everybody involved, like, it's viable. We can take that classic Popeye the Sailor aesthetic, we can modernize it up with the way we tell modern stories, and we have modern characters, and do something creative. Every background character is unique, every setting is unique, every joke is unique. It feels like a classic cartoon on every level, but then boom, we have to merge our powers to become one giant spirit to fight the greatest evil known to man in a cosmic plane. But what is anything when you are just like this woman who thought she was supposed to be married, and now your life might be intrinsically connected to like this deeper philosophical moment in time? And that's amazing. And it's creative in so many unique ways, and I want more people to watch this. I actually do know. It's probably my favorite show of the year. It's my favorite animated project of the year. And Matilda/Emma is like my favorite lead character just to watch anything this year. That relationship and connection that those two entities share is so interesting, and it goes into so many creative and different ways. This is not what you're expecting. Whatever you think this show is going to be, even me explaining it to you, whatever you think I'm saying, it's different than that. And it just has extended episodes where some of them are longer, where we're delving into different themes. Every side character gets a backstory. Every world gets explored in bigger ways. And it's like the Industrial Revolution with big robots coming in to do stuff too. And you're like, yeah, okay, we got magic, we got technology. Blend the two together with like this weird elf who likes this girl that doesn't like him because she's engaged to this other guy who is bitten by like a pirate werewolf. And then you have this kid who enters into this dream state and becomes an old guy that rides like a lion while he's wearing a night suit. All while there's like souls trapped in like this weird top hat wearing circular robot. Because Merlin needs help. It's brilliant. It's fun. It's gorgeous. It works well on every level. And I think it's one you should check out. You should search it out. There is kind of like, every time the episode ends and the credit shows you like the production and just like some of like the earlier sketches and designs for the characters, you realize that Tartakovsky's been working on this pitch for 13 years. It feels like it. This doesn't feel like it was just a random idea he had one day. It feels fully developed with characters that are interesting and worth exploring. And it's definitely a fun, fantastical piece to talk about. So, Unicorn Warriors Eternal, Season 1 of what I hope is another season. I'm going to give a 10 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.